What's good? It's your boy Zachary Carroll, aka Pastor Z, and this is Christian Hood Talk, where we help you apply the Bible to all of life's craziness. If you've been following me for a while, you know that my mother just recently passed, and I learned a lot through that entire process. One thing I constantly hear is that people do not know how to help somebody grieve. I want to do a video giving some basic do's and don'ts when you are trying to help someone else grieve. Everything I'm saying is heavily dependent on the person you're trying to show support for. So if I say something in the don't section, or if I say something in the do section that you know specifically won't work for the person you're watching this video for, then just throw it away. This is an attempt to give from a general perspective what, from my experience and my family's experience, I noticed I did not like. You don't want to have the greatest intentions in the world, but because of your execution of your intention, you fall short or fall flat or make things worse. One final disclaimer. If you know me, if you have my number, please don't hit me up. I'm not angry at you. If you did something that I say in the don'ts, please don't take offense. This is not a video for you. This is not a video venting how I'm hurt, how no one around me showed proper support. I'm not doing any of that. I have a platform that God has given me, however small at this point, in order to help others, help others in their salvation story and help others in their relation story. In fact, I'm going to get upset if you text me or call me to talk about this video. I will. I promise you. So do not do it. I'm going to start with the don'ts. Number one, and literally everyone did this. Do not say to that person, whatever you need, let me know. Anything you need, let me know I got you. Don't say that. 98% of the time, it is not true. The fact is, you are making a vow beyond which you have control. You do not know what I need. You're not going to know what that person who's grieving needs. In Ecclesiastes 5, it says it's better to not make a vow than to make a vow and not pay. It's better to withhold your tongue than to speak to the Lord and not fulfill it. That's what you're doing. That's essentially what you're doing. You're making a promise that you can't keep, or that you don't know that you can keep. You don't even know if you're going to be alive tomorrow, let alone be able to provide a need that I might have. Whenever somebody says that to me, it literally doesn't mean anything, because it's like, you don't know what I need. You don't know if you can provide what I need. So just don't say that. It's not helpful. Unless you know without a shadow of a doubt that anything that I might say, you could provide and you can do not say that. It is better not to say it than to say it and not be able to fulfill that vow. Trust me, you're only making it worse. Number two, do not ask what happened. Listen, when somebody has lost someone, or something tragic has happened, or just a really bad circumstance has just gone down and you hear about it after the fact, understand that the person that's going through that probably is going through so much logistically, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. They're going through so much. And every single time they have to explain to someone new what happened, they have to go through all those emotions, all of that craziness in their head all over again. Ultimately, it doesn't really even matter what happened. The fact is, the person died. Their loved one is gone, and the person is hurting badly. That's what matters. It doesn't matter exactly what happened to that person. You don't need to know that right now. Maybe later, months or years later, you can ask the person and they would probably be happy, or at the very least be in a much better emotional state to explain it. Unless you are at the hospital all day, all night, unless you were there talking to the doctors, unless you are involved in the funeral conversations, you don't need to know what happened. At least you don't need to know right now. Number 3, if this person, if your friend or whoever lost someone is a millennial or younger, and you have not spoken to that person in over 6 months, you don't need to call. You do not need to call unless they are a baby boomer or older. We are no longer in the age where phone calls are the preferred method of communication in general. You might have some exceptions to the rule. And like I said before, if you know specifically this person wants to be called, wants to talk about it over the phone with you, even though you haven't really kept in contact with that person, then do it. I'm not telling you don't do it. But if that person is a millennial, Gen Z, Gen X, or whatever, like, you don't need to call. Calling is an interruption of their life, an interruption of their emotional therapy they're probably going through, having gone through this loss, and you're probably not talking about anything important. Now, understand what I'm saying. If there's a funeral involved and you're trying to work out the logistics about getting there and you're actually planning on coming, then that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like people who just want to call because they heard about the death or the loss. Like, if we haven't spoken in over 6 months, like, you don't need to call me. Just as a general rule, send a text. And finally, don't try to be a therapist. If you are not trained, if you didn't go to school, if you are not licensed as a therapist, don't try to be a therapist. You're not. Don't try to diagnose my emotions. Don't try to uncover why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. Don't try to tell me what I need to do or don't do. Don't try to do none of that stuff. The best thing you can do is lead that person to get some therapy, or tell that person everybody grieves differently. It's really no right or wrong. Like, don't try to say, oh, this is what you got to do. This is what you shouldn't do. This is how you're supposed to feel. This is how you're feeling. Why do you feel that way? If somebody's grieving and they're angry, they're frustrated, they're sad, they're confused, they just don't understand. Like, you don't need to ask why. You don't need to ask why. I guarantee you, you're not ready. You're not equipped. You're not able to process how this person is grieving. You're not. You're not a therapist. I'm a pastor, but I'm not a therapist. If somebody's dealing with some stuff emotionally, I'm not going to try to diagnose how they're feeling, tell them how they should be responding, none of that stuff, unless there's sin involved. Obviously, you should tell that person not to sin because of their grief, but do not pretend like you're going to be their therapist. One thing I constantly heard is, oh, bro, you're never going to get over this. Man, it's going to stick with you for the rest of your life. This is just going to just tear you up inside. People literally told me that. That is not helpful. It's not helping me. I get it. You're just trying to help. You don't even know what to say. Well, let me tell you, less is more. All of these don'ts come together to tell you that less is more. If you don't know what to say, don't say anything. I'm sorry, but please understand that these are just what I experience, and this is heavily specific to me, but I do think this can apply in general and help you help somebody else. Now to the do's. These are things people did that were actually very helpful and actually did make myself, my sister, and my dad feel a whole lot better. Do number 1, presence is king. Now, let me tell you something. Presence doesn't mean noise. Presence doesn't mean nagging. Presence doesn't mean never shutting up. You being there, being present, being with the person, and saying nothing. I guarantee you that is 90% of the battle. If you are just there, if you want to provide anything they may need, I guarantee you being there and just being present allows you to be that one that can help when something comes up. You just being there, being a fly on the wall, being a listening ear, being an extra set of hands, an extra car, whatever it is, just being there, you can't beat. It is king. It is king. The fact that you're there just makes things so much better. There's nothing that beats presence. I don't care what you say. The fact that you're there and you're trying to be helpful and you're making yourself available for whatever might come up, that is king. Nothing beats that, of course, in my opinion. Other people may argue, but let's move on. Number 2, talk about the good things going on in your life. Don't make the conversation about you, but in the midst of your conversation, it is good to mention some positive things or some funny things that you just went through. Don't talk about the drama at your job unless the person just loves drama. Just tell them something good. I can't tell you how happy it made me to talk to people, my friends and family who just had babies, you know, who just got married or who were preparing to get married or whatever. Joy is infectious. Positivity is infectious. Talk about something that will uplift the person. Number 3, special gifts. Sending a card will be 100 times better than a phone call or a text. Sending flowers, sending something cute, sending something, I don't know, ticky-tack, funny, whatever. Get creative. It don't need to be expensive. It don't need to be elaborate. It don't need to be huge. Just something. Honestly, I was very surprised at how helpful it was to receive some flowers or plants or a card or some food or a donut or whatever. I mean, neighbors came and brought food and left. Like, they didn't stay long. Like, those things are very helpful. You know, the person doesn't have to buy dinner. They don't have to worry about what to eat. If you cook something for them, like I had a friend that cooked something for us. His family cooked something for us. Friends that brought us sandwiches, brought us donuts. You know, that really is helpful. It's really a way to show that you care in a very helpful way. If you know that this is not going to help the person, then don't send that thing. But as opposed to calling and talking about it, which is the easiest, as opposed to a text, which is even easier, anybody can make a phone call. But when you get a card or some flowers or whatever, it shows that you wanted to elevate. You actually put some effort in, you actually put some thought in, and it is for the most part very well received. And finally, money. Now listen, I do not have my Cash App, my Venmo, PayPal. I don't have anything in the description on the screen. At this moment, I am not asking for money concerning the death of my mother. I'm not. There is literally no way you can send me money right now. Okay, and I do not want any money as a result of this video. However, I will tell you, if God has put on your heart to do something, to show support, to be helpful, if you are about to say, anything you need, I got you, the best way to show that, if you're really genuine, is to send some money. It is probably the most versatile, the most universal gift that you can give anyone during this time. Because I guarantee you they're going to need it. for something. Not everybody has life insurance. My mother didn't. Not everybody is rolling in the dough. My family isn't. Like, it's just always a help. And you don't know what the person is going through, what the person has just been through. And if you're really, truly trying to help and you're not just speaking emptiness in the air, money helps. It is always a help. You will never go wrong sending money. That's the point. You will never go wrong sending money. Unless you know your presence is expected or something more heartfelt is expected. But in those circumstances, this video ain't gonna be helpful for you because that person and you are in a very close relationship and y'all should already know, you should already know how to help that person. But in general, if you're not that close, if it's an acquaintance, if it's a friend you hang out with sporadically, if it's someone you don't really hang out with or talk to, money always helps. You can ask, is there a way I can donate? Don't be shy. Be like, hey, I'm sorry for your loss. Is there any way I can donate or show support, or send you some money, send you some food? What, you can say that. It's okay to say that. I promise you, it's not tacky. It's not annoying. It don't have to be a whole lot of money. It really don't. It should be more than $10 because $10, $15, the person could buy some lunch. They could buy a meal. They could buy some snacks. They could buy a drink or something. If you're going to send less than $10, it would be better to get that person's address and purchase a card. Walgreens, a card and an envelope literally cost together probably less than $5. That would be much better than Cash Apping them $5. Like, that's an insult. Don't do that. No, don't do that. It should be based on whatever God is moving you to give. If he's moving you to give more than you would want to give, follow him. If he's moving you to give just a little bit, then just do that. It's fine. If it's under $10, just get a card. What do you think? Do you think some of these do's and don'ts would be helpful to someone going through the loss of a loved one? Have you done any of these things yourself? I'd love to dialogue with you down in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share this video with a friend if you thought it was helpful. That's all I got for you. My name is Zachary Carroll, aka Pastor Z. This is Christian Hood Talk. Y'all be cool.